let's just hope. It does smell good though. Hello friends, welcome back. If you're new here, welcome in. My name is Helen. I am coming to you from Auckland, New Zealand, where I live with 3 cats. It was 2 last time I checked in, and how many months ago it was, but things happened. It's a life update for the end. If the number 3 comes barreling in, you'll see him. He's been pretty cozy this afternoon. Anyway, I am back with a cross stitch and a very, very small knitting update. It has been a long time. I had a massive project happening that was actually knitting related that took months, and it was all I worked on because otherwise I was going to feel really bad if I didn't get it done in time. But I will talk about that when I hit the knitting section at the end. Middle, and last third, I don't know. A bulk of this is going to be cross stitch. Then I'll talk a little bit of knitting and a little bit of a life update, just so you know how things are going. But a bit of a change around in my recording area. I'm still in my bedroom, but big change in how things got laid out. I'm on a much smaller desk, so this is rather interesting. Let's dive on in. I've got so many notes. I've got so much to show you. I will say that if I do not mention it from things that have been done in previous videos, I haven't touched it. Or in the case of my knitting with all the pairs of socks, they're done. That's it. I forgot one of my knitting projects. Yeah, I can pause. I just realised I've got to stop clapping. That's a thing. Okay, so let's start off with I basically went through my last video and saw what I touched on there, and I just looked at all my other stats and stuff to see where I was at, so I knew what I had worked on and where you guys would be. I have a notebook with notes. So if I'm looking down here, it's reason why. There's like, yeah, it's a thing, okay? Oh, we got heaps of stuff. So cross stitch, I'm just going to go through literally in order, and there's more down here. And more of that side too that you cannot currently see. That's going to be interesting to get to. So let's start off with a finish. It's not quite a fully finish. Let's be fair, it hasn't been washed, it hasn't been ironed, but I did shove it in a frame. This is the Black Cat by CrossStitchingForFun. Again, all the links and stuff I always put down below. I've done this in one of the variegated DMCs. I want to say number 51, possibly. I don't have any start and finish dates. I've got to get better at doing those, but I will. Either I will or I won't. I don't know if I will. We'll see. So the last time you saw this, it was at 1,579 stitches out of 1,770, which was 89.21%. I was really close to being finished. And yeah, now it is finished. I actually got it finished one day before work and I shoved it up on my Instagram. So that's that. I am so happy with it. I want to do another one, maybe with another variegated, maybe a whole range of the variegateds. Very tempting. I don't know if it'll say living in this frame. It was just, it happened to fit, so it's been living on my bookshelf. It looks really cute. So, one done. We're going to end up with a pile. Next one is actually down here. This is Faces of Faery number 107 by Jasmine Becket-Griffith. Sorry. Was done on 16 count white Ada from Spotlight, by the way. She's being done on 25 count Laguna. I actually believe it's more of an ancient white rather than a white. 1/1 full cross. So yes, artwork by Jasmine Becket-Griffith, chanted by Heather and Earth Designs. Last time you saw her, she was at 7,717 stitches out of 30,975. I'm trying to hold her down a little bit so you can still see her, but I can possibly get editing Helen to shove a picture up, by the way. So yeah, now she is at 8,348 stitches, which is a really nice 96.95%. I'm working on her. When I first started, I went down. As you can kind of see, I did that entire thing, and then I kind of came down again and I got stuck in her tattoo-y thing in there. and I lost steam. So when I picked her up, I started going across, and the aim is to hit the far corner, which, to be fair, isn't that far, because I think like the middle is somewhere in here. So I'm doing Stitching Mummy's typewriter method for this, and I just pick up a thread, and I've been slowly filling in, like up around here there was quite a few ninjas missing, and I've been pulling them in until they finish. Still trying to sit kind of in the 10 by 10s, but it just goes. It works its way, and I haven't worked on her for a little bit. I do want to pick her up again, but no, she's just 25 count, and I don't have a magnifying glass, so I'm gonna have to invest in one of them at some point. So that's where she is. The scroll frame, by the way, is off Temu. All of my scroll frames are off Temu because they are cheap and they work, and I actually really like working with them. They just sort of clip in. It's her messy back, but she's a full coverage. What do you expect? So that's her. Over she goes. The aim with her was to hit 25% and then start another Faces of Faery, but the way life has worked out, it's just not going to happen until later on this year, and that's fine. Next one. This bag, I haven't unzipped. Sorry. This is the Pokemon starters by CrossNFloss on Etsy. This has been done on fabric that my mum picked up when we lived in Papua New Guinea when I was like 10. So it's a few years old. It is about a 16 count in one direction, 18 in another. Don't do anything that actually requires good measurements on it. 2/1 full cross using the called for DMC. Last time you saw this, it was at 8,411 stitches out of 20,477. 41.08%. Now, it's in a hoop, but it'll give you an idea. I am getting so close to 50%. I am at 9,342 stitches for a grand total of 45.62%. Yeah, this is just what I'm trying to pick it up and do, say about 750 odd stitches a month now, which I only started last month. I still haven't done this month's one because this month's been busy, but that's how it is. The hoop is actually again off Temu. It's really neat. It actually kind of clips in really nicely, so we'll see how well it all works out. It's brand new, so we'll see. You see, I've just I'm pretty sure I definitely finished him off last month, and I've ducked into Mudkip here. So I'd like to try and get Mudkip done and then work my way into whoever it is down here. So into the water types. The aim is to finish with the grass types and work my way up the top. So it'll be done eventually. Go back in your bag. As often as possible, they all get bags, even if they don't have anything else in them other than the stitch. This is gonna fall. I know it is. Alright, lift the finger, turn the page. Next one. Quacker Sampler by StarParadeDesigns. I'm doing it on 14 count blue fabric from Temu. I'm going to pick it up, so don't worry. It's 2/1 full cross DMC colour. So I didn't write that down. 973. And I have lots of it. Lots and lots and lots. So that can go over there. And then we can pick this baby up. Ooh, that's going to be really interesting, isn't it? Last time you saw this, it was at 479 stitches out of 15,755. She is now at 2,788. So it was 3.04% last time. We are now, she is now at 17.7%. She's going to be huge. This line here is the bottom. The middle is actually up in here. So it's going to be huge. This is one I'm doing for my parents. They do not know why. They don't know anything about it. But the central bit, I am seriously thinking about doing another 3 times because there's 3 of us kids. So I think it'd be really neat. And possibly one for my son as well. maybe both my sons. We will see if they actually want it. This is the first time I'm actually using floss drops as well. I picked some up, and since I'm only using one colour, it's just nice and easy. Don't ask me where the current floss drop is. It's probably somewhere safe. Probably actually next to my bed, because I sit this one up because it's a huge frame. It's like a 70-ish centimetre frame. No, longer. It's a huge frame for me, at least. I just prop up my pillows because I sit in bed and I just prop it up. So very happy with this, like crazy happy with it. I'm happy with all of mine, to be fair, other than maybe that Pokemon one. It drives me nuts. But yes, this is part of this month's W.I.P. Go for me. It got rolled twice, so I've still got to do another 400 stitches by the end of the month, which is easy enough to do. It doesn't take long. It's just putting in the time. So each one of my W.I.P. Go calls is roughly 500 stitches, depending on the project. So there, let's just flip it so the needle stays at the top. Aha. Okay, I'm just going to quickly pause and open that door again. Right. I've actually shoved a shoe in the door too, so it shouldn't slam again. I'm so sorry. I'll see if I can mute that in post. Next one is my New Zealand flag Quaker by Vivsters. This is my leap year sale that I started for leap year last year. Did a little bit, probably put it down because my life turned to custard. My life is still very busy. This is going to have to be a focus project soon because nothing is happening. Last time you saw it, wait, hang on, it is on 28 count Brittany Opalescent, 101 full cross, called for DMC. Last time you saw it, 432 stitches out of 48,462. With a total percentage done of 0.89. And her bag is zipped up too. Okay, oop, gosh, got my thumb stuck in it. So there's all her little things. There's a floss drop in there. I'm slowly changing her over to floss drops, just as I use up things. And again, a little tiny hoop from Temu, because I just like it being nice and small. And it goes, wait, I swear I figured this out. I want to say it goes that way up. So I don't know, I could be wrong. It could be this way. I really don't know. It doesn't quite matter. It is tiny. Oh, it's picking up the stitches nicely too, actually. So I love the opalescent because my hope is all the unstitched bits are just gonna look like a little bit sparkly when she's all done. So you saw the sparkles when she's up close. Hey, look at that. And if you look in the little unstitched and up here, you might see a few of them, but it's very subtle, and that's what I love. So I need to really get a wriggle on, because my plan was to do like 1 or 2 motifs a month. We're over a year in. I've done 1. She is such a mission. So that's why I've shoved her in a small hoop, get her a little bit more portable. And you know, I have her on pattern keeper, so my tablet goes almost everywhere with me. So let's just hope. It does smell good though. That's going to be the most random thing I've ever said. So yes, I will try and get another motif done. I think at the moment, if I focus on at least a motif a month, and then I can do extras whenever I find stuff. When she gets called for W.I.P. Go, W.I.P. Go will probably be like a couple of motifs extra. So we will discuss plans and goals and stuff as well. Tuck her all back in there. I love these things. This is why it's going to cross. I'm going to go. Next one. This is a new start. The original plan with this was to get to 50% on my Pokemon and then start this one. Because I decided not to do the next Faces of Faery one at the 25%, I picked up this one. So this is Lady Slipper by Carolyn Designs. I'm doing her on 14 count Ada, which is a nice size. with a cord 4 DMC 2/1 full cross. She is all set up ready for me to pick up whenever I want to work on her because I do quite a bit. So she's in my little stand. She sits quite nicely, like if I'm in an armchair or something as well. I use 2 hands to stitch with her. I feel like I've got a random cat fur in my mouth. So yes, this little stand is great. It's just a little bit flopsy, so I'm gonna have to find a good way for me to tighten her up. Still feel like fluff. No, wait, there it is. So I started in the middle and did the whole bottom line, and then decided to work up to the top. And then the plan is to do semi-typewriter method. Like, these aren't really a full block by like 10 by 10. They're like a, I don't know, not a 10 by 10 at least. So I figured I'll just go like the colour. I really wonder if the microphone's going to pick him up. My other cat realised it's after 5 o'clock at night, which means it's dinner time. So yeah, working my way across. Again, I'm going to do like a semi-typewriter method and just hit the end and we'll go down. Come on then. So yeah, this is great. Again, 2-handed. I've gone for the, I want to say she's on a 14 count. Yeah, 14 count. That's her little baggie of bits. So I went for the larger count with the 2-handed stitching because I'm just finding it easier to learn. I'm doing 2-handed stitching with the duck as well. So this is where I'm learning how to do it. It's on the larger count fabrics. So that will be, it's fun. It's really nice learning how to do it, especially with these ones that are just like blocks of colour. You just get into the thing. So she is currently at 2,516 stitches out of 36,441 for a grand total of 6.9%. There is now a kitten on my lap. Hey look, magic trick. Buddy. He will start headbutting when he wants attention. We'll talk about him later. So, we got more to go. 93 more. So the next one was also a new start. I started this one on my birthday, and it's the only one I remember the actual start date for because of that reason. This is Meoow.com by Cats by Kelly. I talked about it being in the queue last time. Being done on 16 count Ada. The kit comes with 14 count, which I've reused somewhere else because it was stained. 2/1 full cross where it is needed. You'll understand when you see it. Using the kit floss, and I think I just grabbed like an extra thing of 310. So new start. There is no counts for it at all. That's Carolyn winning. So here is how it's going to look. I think it's really neat. Like, Mum picked this one up for me as a Christmas present the year before last because my favourite cat is a black cat. That's the one that's realised it's after 5. So that's how it's going to look. You have not seen this one before. And this is where he's at. I'm going to shove his little thing behind him. Isn't he neat? So I'm currently working down around like this keyboard area and all this little paper bit. I started with the paper to go down to the outside edge. So very tedious. There are French knots called for, like in his eyes, and like there's a little paw print type thing here and up in this corner. So I've got the calendar to go. So the only change I'm going to make to it, and I've made the executive decision because I know what I'm like, that border isn't happening. No way, no heck. I will do the solid border, but not all the black work border. And probably not the KBK at the bottom corner too. So everything from the black outline, it's all black outline. Everything from the full crosses in will all get done. Okay. So yeah. So again, 16 count. The kit comes with 14 count. But yes, it was very badly stained and I decided to do it on a 16, make it that a little bit smaller. I've actually got like the threads hanging right there. Nice. And then another new start. This one I started because my Unconventional cross stitch had the disaster happen last year, and then people decided to do a stitch along. And I love Van Gogh works. So this is Van Gogh Never Leveled Up by Aya Trier, charted by Unconventional Cross Stitch. I'm doing it 2/1 full cross on 16 count Ada. That's not the super size or the extra large, whoever she wants this rabbit. So it's not too bad. It's like 250 by 250. It's not bad. Using the call for DMC, current count 2,706 stitches, which is 6.77%. Kept in a blue bag. You go that way. She's on 16, yeah. Very careful. So I don't know how to describe how I'm working on this one. I started doing typewriter method, but I thought I kind of want to stay in the hoop. So I did typewriter across and then full down, and then I've gone across again and down again. So I am trying to stick to a row at a time of some kind. It's either a row or a column at a time for a page. I think the first page ends like just in this little area here, and it's just in here too. So it's not too much more. I'd like to get a page done. I do have a goal of doing 2,500 stitches on it this month, and I'm halfway through. I've got to do another 1,250, which shouldn't be too hard. I do sort of two-handed kind of stitch on this, like I'll prop it on my hand and just push them through. I picked up claw clips specially for the excess fabric, and that's just make my life easier. This one's basically a travel stitch for me. I take it to my partner's house, and when he's sitting there playing Minecraft, I'll sit there stitching and we have a great night. So yes, so you see the start of this pipe coming in. All this is all pipe. He loves seeing me work on this. He wants me to focus on it, so he's challenged me to do a few extra things with it. So we'll see how this one goes. But yeah. And then the last one is a start and finish. Let's tuck you back in your bag. And yes, I colour themed the bag on purpose. I try to do that, but it doesn't always work. Next one doesn't even have a bag or anything. This was a start and finish within 3 days. My partner went to a Dungeons and Dragons thing with his group for a whole weekend, and while he was away he sent me a picture saying if I ever got this, you know, you'd be loved kind of thing. And so I found it. It's on Etsy. I'll give you the details soon. And I stitched it. So the plan is to get it in a frame. It will fit in the same frame as my cat. The cat spine, the variegated cat. So I'll get him a frame at some point. It still needs to be washed and ironed and whatever. So it's a finished, not a fully finished. It is called This Too Shall Pass by Oddly Specific Cross Stitch on Etsy. Great shop. There's more stuff in there I want to do. 14 count Ada. This is actually the kit fabric from Meoow.com, and you'll see why I haven't used it for it. 2/1 full cross with the called for DMCs. Start and finish 1,198 stitches, so it's small, really. If you don't like swear words, by the way, sorry. He loves it so much. So yeah, this too shall pass. But so yeah, you can see why I couldn't use it for the Cats by Kelly one. Hopefully it'll show up, but it's quite yellowed. It's where the 310 floss was sitting on, so it got stained. Hi Cricket. That's all right. I picked like the center part where it hadn't been touched, and once we figure out the frame, we'll just cut it down to size and everything else, and it's not going to be seen because you didn't see it like this ish. But yeah, it does fit quite nicely. I do have some pictures where I took a bit in the cat frame, so I'll put those up too. But yeah, very neat. 3 days, and the third day was just a couple of stitches. I was just running out of steam the night before, otherwise it would have been 2 days. He is super happy. Problem is, I have now shown my sister. I'm going to be making another one, so I've got to go get some more fabric. It's going to headbutt me soon. But yes, start and finish. I'm so happy. That was so much fun to do. It really was. There are a couple of boo-boos in it. I'm not going to point them out. They don't exist. They don't care. If you know the pattern that well, it's a you problem. Okay, so that's that. A little bit of a stash enhancement, and then we'll talk into plans stuffs, because I now have boards which are nothing like the big boards that I've seen other YouTubers do, because my goodness, how this is as many projects as I want to have on the go. And even then I feel a little bit antsy, so I want to start getting stuff off the hoop. But in the meantime, I lost my job, so I got a nice payout. So I went straight to the Ribbon Rose, which is probably one of the best stitching places I've found. Hi buddy, can you not? And I picked myself beads and Mirabilia's red. She's been on my wish list for a while. So all I've picked up is the chart with the beads. I will eventually get fabric and floss and stuff for her, and I have a kitten playing with it because it rattles. Buddy. Yeah. So very, very happy with that. And then I went to my sister's house last week. Yeah, beginning of last week, because she is currently getting her house ready for sale and wanted some help getting a room packed up. And while we're in there, she's like, oh, here, you want all this stuff, don't you? I love my sister. This is stuff. This is really bad. My mum gave her this stuff. So, you know, you'll do this. My sister looked at it, she's like, I don't do that stuff. That's a Helen thing. So, this is embroidery. I haven't done embroidery yet. You're about to fall, buddy. There you go. Yeah, but because I do love Van Gogh stuff, I will more than likely get that done at some point. I'll have to learn. It's a full kit. It's never been opened. So I'm not going to. So I'm going to assume everything's in there. It's a pre-printed cloth. So I don't know. When I get going, I'll take a video or something and show it off. We have Clyde Cottage. It's actually based off artwork by a woman from, where is she? Dunedin? So, South Island. It's really pretty. I do like my houses and stuff. It's almost full coverage, I want to say. It looks like the white around the sky hasn't been stitched, but the white in the house has. But it's a full kit. It's all in there. I get to go separating floss, and I just want to make sure that that hasn't gone and stained, because that's the bit that's stained on the Cats by Kelly one. If it has, I'll just get some more fabric. It's easy because it's 14 count. I'll probably have to do a two-handed on this too. Now the other thing I got, and this is where I'm a little bit disappointed. Let me see this. Isn't it gorgeous? It would be my first Thomas Kincaid. It is the kit with the floss and the threads and 2 out of the 5 pages of the pattern. It's so disappointing. It's pages 4 and 5 and the back stitch chart. That's all I have. So you can see like the bit of the back stitch. I fold them in together. So that's all it has. So I was looking at it earlier when I kind of thought I'd show it off and stuff, and then I was going through just to see what was all in there, because this is obviously how it came. I have no hope of ever finding the other pages, the other 3 pages. So I am thinking that that isn't DMC, because the thread colours are not DMC colours. So I may just use it and find some kind of sampler and just throw them into there. Reuse the fabric. Oh, I could use the fabric with my sister. Might do that. And trash the rest of the kit, to be fair. There's no point in keeping it if I don't have the entire pattern. I'm not going to go hunting for it. I appreciate Thomas Kincaid's work, but he's not one of my wish list artists. And all the flowers, like I'm going to take this out actually. Hang on. It would have been so funny if I'd taken this out and painted the other 2 bits of the pattern. All those flowers, by the way, French knots. I'm sorry, I want to live. These French knots, apparently there's like a daisy stitch in there as well, and a few other bits and pieces, which is, yeah, fine. But, yeah. So it's got 14 count fabric in there, which would work for doing the other one for my sister. She's got another one she wants me to do as well for if she ever gets pregnant. So, do that. Yeah, disappointing, but it happens. Also, in saying that, if someone does have the other 3, you don't mind shipping it to New Zealand, would you not attack me, buddy? Anyway, where are we at? Half an hour through. Not bad. So now I have boards. We'll talk about the Gogh one first. I set my Gogh board up in like October last year, and I have things set up by categories, which we'll talk about, and then I've covered up each one with a bit of post-it paper. It's this board. You're going to excuse all the writing on it because I kind of figured it did stuff. But here we go. This is my Gogh board. I have hit a snag with it, which I will talk about. So I've got my counts. You see the ones I've crossed out I have actually completed. I can probably cross off one of the April ones as well because that's over 500 stitches for duck hunt, for the duck sampler. So your Vango's done, 500 stitches on Lady Slipper. It's the cat ones I'm stuck on. And we will explain it. So yeah, issues. But as you can see, as I go along, I just rip them off. And my plan is actually to kind of leave the categories for next year and just get my partner to go and shove numbers on, leaving the 13 in the center. That's the only one I know. That's free choice. Everything else is just kind of randomized. Bye. And just in case you're curious, I was just trying to see where my stitch counts were and stuff for who has the most amount of stitches left compared to the least, so I could try and get sort of focus on some. Yeah. So the categories I have. It's another board. So sorry. And this is where you'll see the depth of my stash, which admittedly nothing compared to what I've seen some of you other FlossTubers have, but this is excessive for me, okay? I'm not okay with it. We have Cats and Fancy Ladies, which I shoved in one. I got the block stitches and nerdy stuff, so kind of easy-ish kind of stuff to do. Full coverage / Heaven and Earth. Samplers and miscellaneous, which is like cells and other smalls and stuff like that. Yeah, there's a few, right? More in my full coverage. But I am stuck on my Cats and Fancy Ladies. So I've got Meoow.com. I got Perfect Pitch, which needs fabric, which is another one in the same series by Cats by Kelly. I've got a couple others I picked up off Etsy. I've got Lavender and Lace, all the seasons. I didn't pick up the Celtic one. I didn't want to get it. I'd rather just stick to these rather than during holidays. Mirabilia, Rose of Sharon, Blossom, Cats and Books. It's only a tiny little one. I'll probably be able to stitch that one out. And Mirabilia Red. As I mentioned earlier, lost my job. I can't get these up at the moment because I've got no money coming in. I have no disposable income. So, problem is, it's going to pop up roughly 5 times, and it's already popped up 3. Hang on, double checking. Yeah, it's popped up 3 times, so it's got 2 more chances to pop up. I haven't finished any of them. My first one was going to be to finish Meoow.com, and then I kind of hit, my craft roadblock. I mean, what the heck am I going to do? I need to get fabric because I could do it on the Papua New Guinea fabric, but I want the stuff to be nice. Puppy Guinea fabric, to be fair, I'm probably going to end up tossing what's left of it and just slowly replacing it, because I want my stuff to actually look good, and no, it doesn't. So I struggle. That's why I struggle with working on my Pokemon one. It's just I don't like working on it, and I crossed my stitches the wrong way on that one. But yeah, so I have to get fabric. All the mirrors and the lavender lace have to be fully kitted up. I've got little things. I've got little stars. I've got stars next to the ones that I want to get started on soon. They're like higher priority in the list. And then the dots, it's a little dot. There's not a lot of differentiation. Are the ones that are currently on in the hoop frame, whatever. So yes. So you see over here, I've got Duck Hunt, which I really want to start. I'm thinking I'm going to do that one when 13 gets called, because I've got that. That's on the Temu blue fabric as well. It's going to look great. Oh yeah, so you can see I've picked up quite a few. It's just, yeah. I figured categories was easier rather than saying, oh, I want to work on this particular stitch, because what happens if I finish it or something else goes wrong? So, yeah, there's a few. I'll edit that in post. Totally did not just hit the microphone. The other thing is I have monthly goals. I'm trying to be good. I've only set them out starting from this month on, because up until the end of last month, before the big knitting project finished, there was no way I was going to focus on anything else. It wasn't going to be fair on anybody. So, another board. I picked up these boards from my previous work, by the way, for a signage company. One of the side jobs was a signage company, and these were just going in the trash. That is not going to focus, and that's fine. I have it all set out by months with what the WIP Gogh is going to be, the unconventional cross stitch goal for the month, and then any extras. So you can see this too shall pass. It was the start and finish. Previous WIP Gogh ones I've still got to do. I've got like my yarny stuff that's happening, and then the current ones for my cross stitch that's currently being worked on. Monthly goals on top of these are my focuses, and then if I can, I'll work on these as well. So flag motive, a Pokemon, the WIP Gogh, and yeah, okay, that. So that's, I really should get rid of these two lines. You can see it's permanent marker. I have a two-ended Sharpie, so the thick side is that, and then my little writings is that side. It's great, love it. And I just use nail polish remover to clear stuff off. So the Tour de Fleece, knitter. The knitter in me is doing Tour de Fleece. The cross stitcher is going to do 3,320 stitches on Van Gogh, which is a gold jersey. So these ones better be small. Probably still going to do the 2,500 stitches there, so it's going to be a lot. It'll be in addition to, so it'll be a total of whatever, 5,000 whatever plus. So yes, if full coverage gets called again, which, how many times has it been called? Once? 1K on Van Gogh, which means got called for, oh yeah, so full coverage got called, and then stitch along got called. And I did that for both. I think next time I do stitch along, I'll do the Quacker Sampler. Sampler actually got called for one as well. I don't know. Whatever, I'll figure it out at the time. Hello, RK. So yeah. So that's how my monthly goals are looking. NaNoWriMo, I know it has been cancelled this year. My partner did turn around and say that he might be doing his actual writing during it. We'll see how it goes. My plan is to do 5,000 stitches on, again, Van Gogh. That is my focus piece for my bits and pieces. And you see it down here, I've got set up with Gogh 2026. But that's currently how it's looking. I'll be adding onto this. Once the WIP Gogh numbers get called, I'll do like a little mini video and shove it in. I'm not too sure if I'm going to do Mania. Then I've also got Woolfest, which is a knitting thing happening. So we shall see. If I'm doing Mania, I'll probably just pick I'll just pick a project and just work on it. It all depends on what's going on in my life. Again, life update at the end. So that's my boards. Wow, it's a lot. Hi friends, it is currently Friday, the 25th. I know what day it is. WIPGO got called early. So we've got 5 and 19. So let's have a look at them together. So 5 over here. Oh, block stitch. Oh, I could do a lady slipper for that. That'd be nice. And 19's over here. Cats and fancy ladies. I was terrified of it being that, so I'll have to figure out what that'll be. But yeah, so 500 stitches on probably lady slipper. But the cats and fancy lady, well, I don't know. Give me some ideas. And back to me at the computer. Yeah. I had an interruption that lasted overnight. I've just been out, done some errands and stuff, and thought I've now have time to sit down and do the next part of my video. I didn't mention it at the start, but yesterday when I recorded, it was the 23rd of April. It is the 24th today. It is Anzac Day tomorrow. So for anyone that pays respects to our fallen soldiers, my son is doing the dawn parade tomorrow, so I've been and picked him up a couple of energy drinks because he's going to need it. I do not get up that early. Anyway, beside the point. Knitting section. And I found it up in my projects. That's a bonus. I'm just going to grab. So, most recent finish. Don't come at me about the ends. Just a pair of my vanilla socks. I finished them last weekend, or Easter weekend. We're out and about. I was supposed to go camping, but there was a cyclone that was supposed to come through, so we went Saturday camper on a friend's place. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. A lot of card games. Why do I still have a stitch marker? So my socks, for those that do not know, toe up. I do magic cast on? I don't know. I do a cast on of 12 stitches per needle because I do magic loop 2.75mm needles, and I usually use knit picks. I've got a set of wooden 2.75s and a set of steel or aluminum. I do have a higher 9-inch, but I very rarely use it, she says, but she's pretty sure she got it on socks back there. I do want to get another one so I can do my 2 at a time adjacent. Anyway, so I do 12 stitches, increase to 30 per needle, so 60 stitches around. It just fits me. I could go down a needle size. I have tried it. It came out too tight. So this is my current sweet spot. I do 20 rows of a slip stitch on the ball of the foot. I got this from Noble Character Crafts. I can't remember her name, but she does it. I think she does like 30, but I figured with the 20, my foot length is from the toe to when I do my heel is 60 rows. So I figured about 30 would be, or 20 would be good there. Maybe I'll increase it to 30, but to be fair, by the time I've done that, I've had enough. I do a fish lips kiss heel simply because I know it. I can do it off the top of my head. I don't have to think. At some point, I'm going to have to experiment. I have done the Fleagle heel. I didn't like how it sat. So I may have to try a few others and break away from my default. I then do 60 rows for the leg and 20 row of a 2x1 ribbing for cuff. And then I forget to take my scissors when I go away, so I break the end. And I did, like, this is all I took. I just took a pair of socks. 2 pairs of socks. So there's, see, cat in my top. I put one in when I get to the side of the cuff. I do one at 10. I don't know why there was still one at the toe of this one. Probably because it was brown and it blended in. But it's alright, we can take them out. So this yarn is from Gnome Acres. She no longer dies. This is her Tonks colorway on a sparkly sock base. I kind of saw the sparkles when it was blurry. It's very pretty. I just tend to reach in. I have a whole heap of my old sock yarn just balled up into 2 different balls. So I can just grab and go. And I do them 2 at a time adjacent. So I will do toe, the toe. I will even just do like the ball of the foot. I might count that as a section depending how I'm going for time, or if I know what's going on. And then yeah, I'll sit down and I'll do the heel at home. And then yeah, I want them so I can always grab and go. Vanilla socks are my travel project, so I can sit and I can chat, I can watch movies, I can just spend time with people and keep my hands busy, and people don't mind. The people who know me don't mind. So that's what I have left. I have got a crochet corner to corner blanket going, but I'm thinking about scrapping it. So I think these will just become granny squares for my big blanket. Or I'll find some other way to use them up. I do want to use them up, I've just got to find ways to do it. I just don't want to do that corner to corner blanket anymore. I've looked at it and I don't like it. I think I need to do one that's probably a bit more purposeful. So I do like a rainbow. I'd actually start with the red and go right through to the violet in the end. But it's not working with this, with my scrappies. So I will find something else. I don't want to do a jelly roll blanket, please don't suggest it, or a cozy memories. I do not have the patience. Strange enough. So yes, that is most recent thing off the needles. So finished that. That's the yarn tag. And since I knew I was going to be finishing the socks while I was away, I went and grabbed my previously caked up set. This here is, all my stuff is deep stash at this point. I'll mention if it's not. It will be over 10 years old. So this is Knit-Pack's Stroll. Once it decides to focus, let's hide my eyes. No. Hi. It's Knit-Pack Stroll fingering. So yeah, the colourway is Make Believe hand painted. It's a 75 merino, 25% nylon, pretty basic, and again, deep stash. So this sock is yet to go on the needles. Before I left, I did my toe and ball of the foot. So you can see I didn't do much. I think this was even done like the last morning before I left. So yes, I do just stash stash them all on there. So I do one at the top of the toe, and then every 10 rows from there on in. Then I just stash. I don't have a count. I just grab a handful. I need to cough or something. But yeah, as I was saying, I just grab a handful, like a little stash, and I keep little bundles of these, usually with all my sock projects. They don't even get kept in a bag. That's because I just get thrown in and out of my handbag depending on where I'm at. So that's that. Again, it's travel knitting. They will get slow progress depending on where I'm at in my life. I very occasionally pull them out at home. I'll probably just get the second sock on the needles soon. Probably today, tomorrow. I've got a weekend. It's a long weekend. I'm good. So there's that one. The other pair of socks on the needles, which was on the last time I did a knitting one. The yarn is Dye Studio 54, which is a New Zealand dyer. I picked this up. No, I didn't pick this up. My previous boss picked this up. She bought a pair of socks off me that she really liked that I didn't like. And to pay for it, she bought me 2 skeins of yarn. So this is, yeah, it's from Dye Studio 54, which is a New Zealand company. The colourway is called Nirvana. So, I know how to work a camera. So yeah, Nirvana. It's 25% superwash merino, 25% nylon, all the usual stuff. These are my owly socks. I had to go through and redo the math because these are. I have completely Frankensteined this pattern. By the way, I need to bulk stuff a little bit better. It is a top-down sock pattern. It's making noises. Top-down sock pattern with a bit of detailing on the cuff and the heel, and what else was there? It was a 64 stitch. I started these before I figured out that 60 is my sweet spot. So I'll shove my hand in here. These are my 9-inch hires. Yes, I'm in New Zealand. I still use 9-inch when it comes to saying stuff. I do love how these are working out. Actually, no, I want to do this one because this one doesn't have mistakes. So again, I've done the toe up. I think I did, like, I reverse engineered the toe, so whatever they finished off I started with, and I just reversed it from there. But I've done this for one repeat of the owl pattern. It has a beautiful detail on the toe, which probably shows up better. Yeah, I'm trying to see but still block my face. Shows it better in real life, I think. And then we get into the owls, which I'm not doing anything too special with on the foot, but I want to put beads on the leg for the eyes. So otherwise I just get like a little pearl bump in the eye section. So I've done 2 repeats there. I need to do another half a repeat before I do my FLK heel. So yes, it is, I don't know if it's a free or a paid for pattern, but just if you're going to do this, just make sure that when you're doing cables and you're reverse engineering it, so you go up rather than down, that you actually print out the pattern and physically flip the pattern, because otherwise you get owls that look a little weird. So it's on the toe, I don't care, it's just going to be how it is. My next set, which I'm going to do next, is going to be the right way up, because I learnt my lesson. Because this is obviously the first sock I started. What else can I say about these? So yeah, I need to do another repeat and a half. And then I'll do my heel, and then I'm thinking I'm going to do 3 repeats, so 3 owls up the leg, and that should be heaps. And then I'll look at, it's got like a detailed cuff too, so I'll look at that. I'm in not a huge rush to get these done, but I also want them done. So that'll be progress. Again, it's my 2.75s, as I've mentioned. So there's the wooden needles I use. These are very old. Knit picks were my first go-to when it came to buying needles, and I haven't really replaced them. I still even now go for the knit picks things when I'm buying new needles. I've got a higher set. I don't reach for it as often as I reach for these, other than, you know, the 9-inch. Tried the 9-inch on these because it's got a bit of detailing on the sides, but we'll see. Pair number 3. So 3 pairs of socks. The other one, which I don't know where I was at last time, is the Geo Gradient, which actually goes this way. So I've got to do the last section. It's gorgeous. I love it. I have finished off all of these. I'm going to go through and fully weave in ends where I can and trim them after I get the last section done. I think I was like partway through like ending a section last time I showed it off. So I'm dreading picking up the 500 odd stitches, and I keep putting it off. One day I will put some movie I've seen a million times on, and I will concentrate with a million markers and just go. This marker here, by the way, I've kind of missed a stitch somehow, so during my pickup I'm going to make sure I pick it up and fix it, because otherwise it's going to be a problem. But no, it is very, very pretty. This is all done at a Volmise sock yarn. It's probably a mixture of superwash and non-superwash. And I couldn't even tell you the colours because they're all like way different. Wear a Difference, which I picked up again, deep stash. So I picked it up when I was actually living in Europe. But it is, I do love it. And like doing this bit was so satisfying. Like, colour. It's not doing much. Hang on. Is that going to help at all? A little bit. So yes, I've got the pink, teal, like a bit of like a grape, and then a black. And it does look beautiful in real life. So, and it's covered in cat fur, which isn't surprising when you now have 3 cats. And the last knitting project is this was going to be my big project of the year. I picked up the yarn for it at W.I.P.s last year. The next W.I.P.s is in a month. I'm not going. It's just not going to happen. I was going to, but it wasn't going to happen. So when I go to W.I.P.s, I pick up yarn, and the plan is to make like garments out of it by the next one. Let's start off with the yarn. Yeah, so the yarn is from Dye Happy Yarn, again New Zealand dyer. I make sure to pick it up. This is her Kindness 4-ply. Yeah. And the colourway is called Idea. It's 100% New Zealand Corriedale. So very, very cool. Let's see if I can get you a good... Yeah, look at that. You know how to work. So that's all the details for it. I picked up 3 skeins. And I will be making a Hitofude cardigan. Hitofude meaning 1 stroke in Japanese. It is on Ravelry. It's a very cheap pattern. It cost me like $2. It might be like $1 American. No, $2 American. That's what I'm thinking. It is by Hiroko Fukasu. If I am really badly butchering that, please let me know. I took Japanese in high school, but you know, it was a year or 2 ago, okay? It is beautiful. It is all literally knit in one piece. So you start off with a provisional cast on. I found a couple of techniques. This one I just went over the needle with a crochet hook. If I remember, I will find the link to the video I used. And that worked. I've never really done a provisional before. So you do the provisional, you knit, and then at some point it'll come undone. And you do like a 3 needle thing, and you keep going. There's even like a part in the pattern where it seems like it's even knitting the round, but it's a cardigan. So maybe that's like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. We'll see how it goes. I'm trusting the pattern. I am 2 repeats in. I need to get to 14, I believe it is, before I do the next section. I believe it's this like sleeve section or something. Yeah, so yes, it is very pretty. It is on a very short needle, but I'm not too concerned. It is very lacy. It is very, very pretty. So, let's go. Let's pick a direction and look through. Wrong way. Whatever. So yeah, it is. I will not get used to doing things in reverse. So pretty little lace detail. It is the entire thing is this lace detail. So hopefully I remember to put details down below of everything I'm using. Called for needles, 3 skeins of yarn. And you can see it. So I've only caked up 1. My aim is to get almost to the end of 1 before I cake up the next, because it's just going to save me just a hassle getting all tangled. And I've got so many packs of stitch markers in my bag right now. This is the bag. I've mentioned this one before. It is not one that I've made, but I can't remember all the details from it. I do remember it was part of a gift pack, or a pack from Christmas one year. Again, very deep stash. That's it. So that is all my crafty updates. Sorry it took me over 12 hours to get this thing recorded and change of clothes later, but we're fine. I'm going to jump into life updates because there's no stash enhancements for knitting. I am working my way through it. And it's not on purpose. It's just, I have stash, I'm using it. If I see something I like, I'll buy it. But no, I haven't felt the need to buy. So it's not a permanent, it's not an actual stash down. I'm just living life right now. Yeah, life update. Otherwise known as why Helen dropped off the map. Yeah, I fully dropped off. I stopped updating Instagram, my crafting journals. I'm very rarely on Facebook and stuff anyway. Getting very close to deleting it, but we'll see. It's just, it's been kind of hectic. My sister, oh wait. Yeah, my sister got married last month. She is, yeah, very happy. So for her wedding, she asked me to make her a sweater wrap. I'll chuck like pictures and stuff up in here of the actual pattern designer thing, the designer's pattern pictures, and the pictures I have of it. I am not going to give you pictures of my sister with it because I do not have her permission to. She doesn't like her stuff on social media, which is fair. The aim was for her to have it in case at night her for her wedding, since it was an open wedding, it was out in the gardens, and we had like it was a nice setup. But if it got cold, she wanted to be able to put something on. So this was made out of 8-ply cotton. It was a DMC brand. I don't have the details. I dropped off. I sat down and I focused on this thing. It is stockinette stitch for 3 meters. At the end of it, I looked at my sister and said, I'm not doing any more commission work for a year. I refuse. I love her to bits. I will not do commission work for a year, and yet here I am. I'm planning a cross stitch for her, but that's fine. So, labour of love, but it's fine. It's done. That is why I basically dropped off. It was all the focus when I was doing crafty stuff. I felt really bad if I picked up anything else. So that's all I did for like 3 months. I am not a fast knitter. I was going through Christmas. My parents moved. They moved overseas. I don't know if that was happening last time. They've moved over to Australia. Between all that and I've been, the word is socializing. I've been dating. And yes, social life kind of took over for a bit, but not want to put too much of myself out there. I am in a long-term relationship now, and we are looking at moving in together, which is nice. So that's where my life is. It's hectic, it's busy. I have, as I mentioned, I lost my job. It's a small company. Everything that's happening worldwide, last in, first out. It happens. I'm job hunting. It's hard, but we'll get through it. Yeah, that is basically a lot of it. We had some kittens born on the property, I want to say end of the year, and we've managed to tame down one of them and give him a new home. The other one, which is his sister, is an independent cat. Good luck getting your hand on her, but she loves sitting on our couch and she knows where the food is. And then while we were taming them down, we had another kitten show up, who was already friendly. Starving, full of fleas, full of worms, super friendly. His name is now Cricket. And if he doesn't show up, I'll shove some pictures up of him. He is adorable, he is sweet, he is an absolute attention hog. And I now have 3 cats. We don't count the slightly feral one. We will still be working on taming her down and getting her rehomed. I cannot have 4 cats. And plus she's another pure black. I've already got a pure black cat. I don't need another one. So I've been out today and I've picked Cricket up a collar and more flea treatment because I swear he just attracts them. No sign of him. He's not talking to me because, yeah, flea treatment. We don't tell the landlord I've got 3 cats. We tell her I've got 2. But he's an absolute snuggle. I was sitting here this morning doing a few bits and pieces and he's on my lap just purring his little heart out. So it was not intentional. The aim was to rehome him, but everyone's fallen in love with him. Yep. Foster fails. This is my second foster fail. That's how we ended up with a big black cat last time. So Cricket's a little tabby. I'm not even a fan of tabbies, but it's his personality that gets me. And yes, that's my life in a nutshell. It's busy, it's chaotic, but it's great. I'm in a really good headspace. You know, mentally, physically, I'm doing really well. I am very lucky to be where I am. All I need now is a job. And this I want a full-time one. We'll get there. But that's it for me. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. I don't know when I'll be back. I will try for end of the month. We do have the W.I.P.s Go numbers coming out in the next day or so for next month. So I might do a little blip handheld little thing while we figure it out what my next month's goals are going to be. And then I've still got to sit down and do the end of this month's. About 2,000 stitches by the end of the month. I can do that. It's easy. Easy, easy, easy. I was going to sit down and do it. I've just been too busy the past couple of weeks. Going house hunting tomorrow. Okay, that's it. I'm out. Bye.